A friend posted this to Facebook this morning, and it got me to thinking about a story that I read and created to be his helpmeet, written by Debbie Pearl. It was a story about an ugly old hillbilly woman who was not seen as an ugly old hillbilly woman by those around her. Okay, so I'm going to be reading from Created to be his helpmeet, written by Debbie Pearl, and I'm reading a little story about one ugly hillbilly. A few years back, there was an overweight hillbilly woman who worked in the local store in our hometown. Every time we went into the hardware store, several men would be standing around the counter talking to her, and they were always laughing. We usually had to wade through the cheerful crowd and interrupt the gaiety to get served. Her swarm of admirers reminded me of bees around honey, buzzing with great interest or high interest. The strange thing was that this woman was ugly, and I mean hillbilly ugly, which is worse than regular ugly. One day, as we were leaving the store, I laughingly brought to my husband's attention all those men standing around talking to the sales clerk. His reply really surprised me. "Oh, you mean that cute little lady?" Live and learn. And apparently I really had something important to learn. In his mind, that lady was cute. The truth is, she was not little, she was not cute, and she was not young. But she did smile, laugh, and giggle, and she was always ready for a good, clean joke. I loved being in the store talking to her as much as the men did. She was delightful. A few weeks later, we saw her at the grocery store. She was mad at her very obese daughter for grabbing a handful of candy. Gone were the smiles, giggles, and radiance that had so captivated everyone at the hardware store. In their place was a bitter, ugly snarl. My husband remarked when we left the grocery store, "Haven't we seen that woman somewhere before? She looks familiar, but I just can't place her." When I told him who she was, he was stunned. "No, it's not possible. It just can't be her. The woman in the hardware store does not look like that." I could see the truth dawn on him, and he was so disappointed. The funny thing was that this woman looked just like she always did. She was the same size, the same scraggly hairstyle, the same clothes style, the same everything she was when we saw her in the hardware store. All she lacked was her glorious smile. It was her most valuable asset. Her face was always so radiant, her smile so infectious, her laughter so sweet, her eyes so earnest that people simply saw her as cute. I don't know if she had a husband, but I'm sure she could have had a dozen different men in that small town, as long as they never saw her in the grocery store mad at her daughter. Everyone is drawn to a smile and wants to be a friend to someone overflowing with goodwill. Men are highly attracted to smiles. That includes your husband. Do you want your husband to stay home more? A merry heart and a mischievous giggle are good drawing cards. A merry heart does like a good medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. Proverbs 17:22. You may not be an ugly hillbilly, but there are other kinds of ugly. Women spend billions of dollars every year to make themselves look more attractive, or to make themselves more attractive, as the book says. But the most important effective beauty aid is free, a joyful smile. So that Sorry, I thought I heard somebody. That joyful smile is reflective, and that good countenance is reflective of a joyful heart, and a heart that trusts and loves and wants to please the Lord. And so anyway, I thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed and that you're inspired by that story.